An ugly black Asian like her, Valentova's shocking slur met with Eala's graceful six-word response. It was supposed to be just another second-round clash at the Kinoshita Group Japan Open, a crisp Thursday afternoon under the mild Tokyo sun. The stands were barely half full when Alexandra Eala, the 20-year-old Filipino prodigy with a calm face and a fierce forehand, walked out in her signature blue visor. Her opponent, Teresa Valentova, a rising Czech player known for her baseline aggression, adjusted her ponytail and took her place at the opposite end. For the first 20 minutes, it was tennis. Pure, unadulterated, fast, rhythmic. By the end of the first set, Eala had broken twice and led 6-3. Her footwork so precise it drew murmurs from the Japanese crowd. But then, during a mid-set exchange early in the second, the world heard something that would change the tone of not just a match, but the entire tournament. The words that silenced the court. It started as a disputed line call. Valentova had just hit what she believed was an ace down the tee. The line judge called it out. Eala, quietly wiping her face with her towel, didn't argue. She turned to return serve. Then, picked up faintly by the courtside mic, Valentova muttered something under her breath. Not directed at the umpire, not clearly shouted, but sharp enough for those nearby to hear. Ugh, an ugly black Asian like her. The sentence cut off as the umpire leaned forward. The crowd gasped. A few phones shot up. Silence fell. Not the respectful kind that follows a good rally, but a stunned, electric one that belongs to moments of disbelief. Eala froze, her racket halfway lifted. Her coach, Daniel Molina, stood from the box, his jaw tight. For 5 seconds, nobody moved. And then, Alex Eala did something remarkable. She turned, walked calmly to the baseline, and said 6 words, softly, clearly, and without venom. I play for love, not hate. The umpire called for quiet. Valentova, realizing the cameras had caught her lips, pressed her towel against her face. The match resumed, but it would never be the same. The point of no return. After that moment, Eala didn't lose a single game. She swept the second set 6-0, finishing with a thunderous forehand that clipped the line, the same spot Valentova had argued over. As Eala raised her hand to the crowd, Valentova walked briskly to the net, her face blank. They shook hands. Briefly. No words exchanged, but the cameras stayed fixed. The microphones caught everything. From the crowds murmured she didn't deserve that to the quiet applause that followed Eala's walk-off court. Back in the locker room, Alex's demeanor was unshaken. According to multiple reporters, she sat with her headphones in, sipping water, scrolling through messages from fans back home in Manila. She never once mentioned the slur, said her hitting partner later that day. She just said, I hope people see what I said instead of what she did. The aftershock. By evening, the clip was everywhere. Hashtag #IPlayForLove trended across Twitter and TikTok. The original broadcast footage had been slowed down, subtitled, remixed with instrumental soundtracks, turning the moment into a symbol of quiet defiance. CNN Philippines called it the epitome of poise under prejudice. ESPN ran a headline, Alex Eala's 6 words that stopped the world. Even former tennis greats like Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka, and Lee Na commented publicly. Serena Williams, grace under fire. I see myself in her. Naomi Osaka, every word she said mattered more than 1,000 press statements. Meanwhile, Valentova's team issued a brief apology. Teresa Valentova sincerely regrets an inappropriate remark made in the heat of competition. She has reached out privately to Ms. Eala, but it wasn't enough. Within 24 hours, her sponsors, including a major European apparel brand, had suspended their endorsement deal pending review, the interview that melted the internet. The next morning, Alex Eala appeared for her post-match press conference wearing a simple white hoodie with the words, Love always wins, printed across the front. Reporters expected anger. They got composure. When asked if she heard Valentova's comment clearly, she nodded slightly. I heard it, she said. But sometimes when people speak out of anger or bias, they reveal what they carry, not who we are. I won't let that define me or this sport. Then, with the faintest smile, she added, I've been called names before, but every time I respond the same way, by winning points. Her statement rippled through every news desk from Tokyo to Toronto. The clip reached 5 million views in 12 hours. A country's daughter. In Manila, dawn was just breaking when the news reached the Philippines. Screens in cafes, gyms, and jeepney stations played the highlight reel. Not of aces or volleys, but of Eala standing tall after insult. The Philippine Sports Commission released a statement praising her exceptional character and sportsmanship. President Liza Robredo called her directly. Sources confirmed and told her, "You didn't just win a match, you won our hearts again." Filipinos online turned the 6 words into a movement. Students painted hashtag I Play for Love on school walls. Athletes from basketball, volleyball, and even esports joined in. The phrase became a rallying cry for dignity in competition, especially among athletes of color who had faced discrimination abroad. The other side of the net. Meanwhile, in Prague, Valentova's camp went into crisis mode. Local media called the incident a national embarrassment. Her coach, Martin Ruby, resigned. Valentova herself released a longer statement 3 days later, this time via video. "I said something unacceptable. There's no excuse. I grew up privileged in a culture that sometimes ignored how words can wound." The reporter's reflection. As a journalist who has covered tennis for 2 decades, I've seen rivalries that define generations. Serena and Venus, Sharapova and Williams, Osaka and Azarenka. But what unfolded that day in Tokyo transcended rivalry. It was a test of humanity. In a sport built on decorum and quiet precision, a storm of prejudice momentarily cracked the calm surface, only for grace to flood through the opening. Eala didn't win the match because of her opponent's slip. She won it because she refused to descend to the same level, because she understood something the rest of us sometimes forget. Silence can be strength, but so can speaking softly with purpose. Beyond the court. By December, Sports Illustrated Asia named Eala Athlete of the Year, citing not just her on-court achievements, but her composure in the face of the ugliest kind of adversity. When asked what message she wanted young athletes to take from that Tokyo day, she replied, "You can't control what others say, but you can always choose your answer. Mine will always be love." Epilogue, the echo that never fades. The moment replayed endlessly on highlight reels. That quiet walk to the baseline, that steady gaze, those 6 words. No grand gesture, no outrage, just quiet defiance and dignity. And somewhere in the stands, perhaps a young girl, dark-skinned, Asian, shy, saw herself reflected in that strength, realizing that no insult can erase worth, no slur can define beauty, and no hate can ever overpower love. Because sometimes the loudest victory isn't shouted, it's whispered, with 6 words that echo forever. I play for love, not hate. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.